Shalom, and welcome to Cuppa Torah. My name is Hannah Tamar, and I'd like to say Chag Pesach Sameach. Happy Passover to all those who are celebrating this week. Today, my cup is filled with Bigelow green tea. They have a great line of kosher for Passover products. You just have to make sure that the package has the kosher for Passover symbol on it because some of the products are not kosher for Passover. So today I want to sit and talk about traditions and why are traditions meaningful and what makes them meaningful. And I want to say a little story. When my husband and I moved here, we do not have blood relatives in the vicinity. And it was really hard for us to go home because we couldn't afford to go back home. So when Passover came around, our rabbi invited us to first night Seder. And one of their traditions is the kids put on an elaborate play. And it was really meaningful because the kids enjoyed doing it. They had smiles from ear to ear, and they put a lot of time into it. They had props, they directed it. It was just really great. But since it was meaningful to them, since that tradition was meaningful to them, it became meaningful to me, and I loved it. And that was about 10 years ago, and I still remember that Seder to this day. And I was thinking to my head, why are all these Seders completely different from each other? We all read from a book, the Haggadah, which retells the story of the Israelites becoming free from slavery. We all do the Seder, which is order. So we all do the same exact order. So why is each Seder that I've ever gone to completely different from each other? And it's the traditions that the hosts bring to the table and presents to the table that makes it meaningful to them, which in turn makes it meaningful to the person who is sitting at the Seder. And I thought that was really cool that you see these different traditions, the foods that you eat, plays that put on, or one Seder that I went to, they had plague bags that each person got. And when the plagues were read out loud, we would throw them at each other because that was what they did. And that was a fun tradition. So when my neighbor Shoshana came to me and said, let's start co-hosting the holidays and mainly Passover, I was really reluctant and didn't want to because I've never hosted before and I never had traditions of my own growing up as a kid. So I did a lot of research, and at the time, my friend Julie Wool was making a Haggadah, an illustrating Haggadah, and she sent me a sample of what it looked like, and I fell in love with it. And I said, oh my gosh, this is going to be my Haggadah. This is going to be my first tradition. So I ordered one book, and when it came in the mail, I ran over to Shoshana's house, and I said, I found this great Haggadah. I love it so much. We're going to be using it. This is going to be our first tradition as co-hosting together. And she goes, no, Hannah. I found a great Haggadah. This is great. Nothing can beat this Haggadah. So we both show our books, and they were the exact same book. So we realized that this was going to be our first tradition. I will put a link to it in the bottom, but it's simply Seder. And you can make it as simple as you want or as elaborate as you want. It has really great, meaningful questions that you can ask and go more in depth with your Seder if you want. The illustrations are amazing, and we have a lot of children that come to our Seders, and I know my youngest child loves looking at the illustrations, and it keeps him very focused at what is going on. So that was our first tradition, is reading into this, getting this Haggadah. Our second tradition is eating outside underneath the full moon and the stars, which brings a whole nother level of meaningfulness to our Seder of being free and reclining and relaxing and letting go and enjoying the moment. So those are a few of our traditions. And I want to know, what holiday traditions do you have? It doesn't have to be Jewish holiday. It could be any holiday, or it doesn't have to be a holiday. Any tradition that you have with your family or with your partner. Why is it meaningful to you, and what makes it meaningful? And how do you share that tradition with others? I'm really curious. So as I am signing off, I'd like to say Chag Pesach Sameach and Shalom.